Hello friends, myself Amaresh, and I'm going to talk to you about the most revolutionary technology that is taking over the world today, that is called blockchain technology. Now, when we talk about blockchain technology, you must be thinking, it's something new, something exciting, something interesting. And yes, it is something really interesting and really exciting. And definitely, I can guarantee you, it is going to change the way we see the world today. There was a time when computer got introduced and it changed the world literally. Today most of the things are directly or indirectly connected with computers and technology related to computers. At around 2000 2001, there was a revolutionary technology that's called internet, which got introduced, which changed the way we look at things. Then came social media, and that again changed the way we look at things. Today each and everything we do is directly or indirectly connected to computers, to internet, to social media in today's date. And you know, guys, how impactful social media is on our lives. Now the next phase in the tech world will come with blockchain technology. So, before getting into some conclusion, let's get deep into what exactly the technology is and what exact problems the technology is solving, which is making the technology such an amazing thing for the future. So, let's go ahead. First question first, of course, why do we need blockchain technology? There are already so many things around, and why do we need to add one more thing into our technology field? That's the blockchain technology. Why do we need to add? So when we are talking about the problems in the modern day, one of the biggest problem is centralization. See, everything around what we are seeing is centrally controlled. Let me give you some example. If we talk about banks, the money we have in the banks and the way things are processed through the banks is directly or indirectly controlled by the Central Financial Authority. If we talk about India, it's RBI, right? When we talk about many other things like the administration part, it is completely controlled centrally by the government. So there are many things which are centralized, and most of the things around which are centralized in today's date. So what are the problems which come because of centralization? The first thing comes is lack of transparencies, and I can give you n number of examples where because of lack of transparency many issues come up. Let's give you some very bright example, and I'm going to tell you one incident which happened way back in 2008, which was actually the base on which was actually the reason, I would say, because of which the blockchain technology took so much popularity, became so much popular. I'm talking about the financial crisis of 2008. What exactly happened in 2008 was that banks in US, there were many big banks with huge financial backup. They kept on giving loans to people, those who were not worth giving the loans, because they won't have been able to pay back. The banks also knew that, but yes, they kept on giving loans. And what happened at a point of time, the entire financial structure crumbled in United States of America, and because of that, there was a recession, and that affected all the economies of the world. And such things, see, point is, when there is transparency, there is accountability. When there is no transparency, there is no accountability. Similarly, if we come back to India, let's see our country right now. You must have heard of Punjab and Maharashtra Cooperative Bank, PMC Bank, which had to close down transaction because they did not have money to give to their account holders, because they had given out too much loans, and there were some corruption and issues happening, because lack of transparency creates all this problem. Just imagine if the entire thing, the entire process and the transaction was transparent, where everybody can see what exactly is happening. So the people, those who were involved in this, won't have dared to do that, because they would have been held accountable at the point, every point of time. right? And for controlling the banks, obviously we again need to depend on the central authority, that is the government or the RBI, who looks after that everything is going correct. So if they were looking into it, what was the problem? So there are many things like this which comes up because of centralization, and transparency is the biggest problem. Next thing, when we talk about money transaction, the biggest issue which we have today when we transfer money to a different place, a different country, is the mediator charges. See, money, when it is transferred, it is my money and I am transferring to one of my acquaintance or friend. I don't think there is a logic behind giving so much of transaction charges or transfer charges when I'm transferring, because it is my money and I'm transferring it. Just because we have to depend on the central authorities for transferring the money, so that is why we have to pay some charges to them. Yes, that's, you will say, yes, that is the norm and that is how the thing works. Exactly, that is what blockchain technology is here to change. Exactly, that is what I'm trying to say. Of course, there's a lot of manual processes which takes a lot of time, which blockchain technology can cut, getting into the digitization and simplifying the technology behind all these processes. And last, there are many, of course, many other advantages and many other problems which blockchain is solving. But yes, if we specifically jot down important points, these are the ones. And last but most important, information security. Personal data, that is a very, very precious thing to us today, because we don't want our data to be used by others for their benefit. We listen to many news every day where we listen that yes, this company has leaked its data, government has leaked the data, transport department leaked our data to certain applications, our personal data, UPI data was leaked to some big conglomerate and stuff like that. All these issues are there in the market, because, and that's, everything is because of centralization. What blockchain exactly is targeting is to destroy centralization and to create a world which would be trustless, so that now we have to trust the central authorities that they would be doing correctly. Entire concept behind blockchain technology is that it wants to create a trustless society, so that if I am doing thing, I don't need to trust anybody. It's not I'm trusting or not, it's basically I don't need to trust anybody. Such is the technology, right? Now, what exactly, I've been talking about blockchain. What is blockchain technology? Blockchain technology is a peer-to-peer decentralized distributed system. I'll explain, don't worry. It is cryptographically secured, append only, and immutable and updatable via consensus and agreement among all peers. Okay, don't worry. It's not as complicated as the lines are. Okay, basically it is peer to peer. If I am in the blockchain network, then I can transfer anything. It might be funds, it might be information, it might be data directly without the information or intervention of any central authority. And that is what makes it so amazing, because all the middlemen which used to play a huge role in the traditional tech world are getting removed. And that is an amazing thing, because that creates whole lot of data privacy issues get solved, and many more cumbersome technological issues which comes, and those things get solved. Next come to next the what exactly blockchain technology. The next important thing in the blockchain is it is cryptographically secure. See, cryptographically secure makes the data very secure. Your data leakages or all those things are get we can avoid it, and definitely it gives a technological edge for us when we are transferring anything for that matter. Next come to immutable. Yes, now this is very, very important. See, when we are having a data in a technological world, when we are having a data, it is basically stored in a central server. Storing data in a central server has some advantages and many disadvantages, because when a data is uh, with somebody in a central authority, they have the rights to change it. And even though they don't have the rights to change it, or they say that we won't change it, but they have the power to change it. And if they change it, we have nothing in our hand. So immutable blockchain technology, once the data is stored, it cannot be changed. And since the data cannot be changed, we can trust that it won't be tampered, and our data is secure. And when, again, another one thing, when it comes to the central servers which store the data, it can be hacked. It can be hacked. And if somebody hacks into that central server, he or she is having the complete access to the data, and the entire thing can be changed or muted, which can create a lot of problems. One more thing, again, when it comes to immutability, it is very important for us to understand that once a data is with somebody, it can be used and misused also, right? So when it comes to blockchain technology, it is immutable. You can trust this technology that once the data is stored, once your data is stored, it cannot be changed by anybody, right? Last but most important, updated via consensus. The data that is stored through blockchain technology, or the data in the blockchain technology, can only be changed via consensus. Now, what is consensus? Consensus is agreement. And here, not one, two, three people, there would be many people who needs to come into agreement to add or change any data. And that is a big thing, because this is the thing which actually changes the centralization thing in any organization or in the technology. So it is very important that we understand the blockchain technology and what kind of problems it really would be able to solve. That is very important for us to understand, and that is huge. Now let's try to understand how exactly blockchain works. So as I said, there is a network of nodes. Okay, when a transaction is done, a block is created. The transaction is put in a block, and it is sent to all the nodes for verification, to all the other nodes for consensus verification. Once the verification is done, and that node is added to the ledger, it is added to the blockchain, as we say. And once it is updated, it is immutable. I give you a very simple explanation okay, how exactly a transaction is done. It is validated by everybody, and then it is added. Okay, obviously it is not as simple as I said, but yes, on a brief level, if you think, it is done that way. Consensus is important. Once consensus is there, then the block is added, and that is permanently added, and it cannot be changed. So this is a brief way which I explained. This is a very brief way I explained what exactly blockchain technology is. And there are huge implementation of blockchain technology in today's date as we speak. It's a technology of the future, it is technology of the present. It is just about where we can implement this, because it is literally implementable at most of the sectors, because most of the sectors in the industry today has the problem of centralization, right? And has the problem of trust. In today's date, there are many, in fact, in every field. It is not that it's just applicable to supply chain or data or banking or government sector or healthcare. It is applicable in every sector. But yes, I'll just try to tell you some examples where it can be implemented. Just imagine, let's assume a situation where we are using certain products, buying from the market. We normally have to see the certifications that the product has, maybe FSSI or ISI. All these marks are there, so we are trusting these organizations, FSSI and ISI mark, all these organizations which give the certification. We have to trust that they would have checked the things properly. Just imagine if the entire manufacturing process of the product, all the data that of the things that were used, of the processes that were implemented, all the data are stored in the blockchain, and there is a QR code at the end on the product, which we can scan and see the entire things, entire history of the supply chain, where the raw material was purchased, which industries, which factories it was processed, and how it was transported. Everything, if we can see, then it empowers the customer to a huge level. And it also helps the manufacturers also, because they would also be able to track the quality of the sourcing that they are doing. It is a very basic but a very powerful implementation of blockchain technology. When we come to healthcare, see the data of a person, a health data. For example, what problems I have, what problems I had in the past, all those history, my health history is a very important factor for any doctor to for any doctor to see and prescribe me the solution or medicines to my problems. So when it comes to healthcare, it can be a big revolution because, for example, if we are able to store all our health histories in a blockchain, uh, uh, again, that is again. The blockchain data will be secure because it is cryptographically secure, so data leaks won't be there. Next thing is that the doctor, if he wants to access with our permission, he can access our entire data, our healthcare data, and everything can be diagnosed in a very minute level, and it would really help the doctors to help us become healthy in a better way. Next, come to banking sector. Of course, this is one of the biggest sector which blockchain is definitely going to change. And a lot of people are there, those who have apprehension and regarding how the banks are operating, how transparent the banks are. There are many cases which are happening in today's date where loans are being given uh, to many people which I don't think they deserve, and they run away with the money. So if there is transparency, yes, things can be questioned and things can be sorted in today's day. Government, yes, government can take the advantage of blockchain technology to the next level. And in India, if we speak, government is already doing that, and it's a big proponent. Government is a big proponent of blockchain technology, and many places, government is already using it. For example, the land data, the data of the land we have with the government, it is being put into blockchain, which becomes very uh, useful for people because they can track the ownership of the land in today's date, and that can be seamlessly done. And there are many other sectors where government can use blockchain technology in today's date. So yes, blockchain technology is going to change the way we are seeing the world today. And definitely knowing and learning about blockchain technology will give a huge advantage uh, to our careers, to our futures. And definitely, this is the next big thing in the technology market in the world today. So, thank you for listening to me. And this was all from my side. This is Amaresh Sahoo signing off. Thank you. Thanks a lot.